I am really waiting actually to meet this wonderful person. His name is Avinash Anand Singh and he's a transformational coach. So today we are going to talk about the Sutras of Mindfulness. Well, it's a segment of Zindagi ka parcha chai pe charcha biji ke saath. And Management Me takes great pride in inviting transformational coach par excellence Avinash Anand Singh, who's a founder of Blue Dot Transform Consulting, to have a soulful conversation with me. And he's also the member of Forbes Coaches Council, a transformational coach working in the area of connecting science and spirituality. With a mission to help people elevate their consciousness and connect to their inner genius, he conducts flagship programs on law of attraction, power of subconscious mind, and tapping into the body's innate healing abilities. And the latest feature is his write-up in the Forbes on reverse aging. So I'm looking forward to learning a little about it as well. This great person has been awarded the REX Karmaveer Fellow by Icongo in collaboration with the United Nations. And in the last few years, he has spread his work to more than 12 cities and conducted more than 85 plus sessions with his transformational programs. And I too had a opportunity to attend his programs, and whatever he has said, I have been practicing, though not 100%. But yes, it has brought a transformation in my life as well. And the fact with, the science, blending science with spirituality and understanding through the scientific lens, how the body and mind are created, how do you, get inside the universe that is within you. So it will be wonderful to be chatting with him on such a beautiful topic. And my research in this area of mindfulness has been going on for a long time, and I have been practicing it as well. And today I'm waiting to learn more. So first of all, congratulations for all your achievements. I have formally introduced you to the audience, so I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, that's completely all right. That's completely all right. Yeah. Thank you so much,
All
Vijay,
right.
for having me.
Welcome. So it's actually an honor for me to have you here. And Zindagi Ka Parcha was started with an intention of bringing people of your caliber to the audience, so that they go away with a takeaway and techniques to manage themselves. Because my company is Management Me, so everything relating to manage the self is what I would like to provide. So
Right.
can I just know about your journey on, like, you are pretty young to have achieved so much at such a young age, and how did this journey begin?
So I think, education has a major role to play, because when I was in
Yes.
school and the colleges, I was not a very bright student. So there was this
Okay.
label which society gives you, right? That you are an average
Yes.
person or stuff. And I think a lot of people are affected by that label. So for me, the case was similar. And for me, it became a
Hmm.
quest to really understand that, are these labels defines your life completely, or is there more to the story, right? So this question was inside me, and I give a lot of credit to the mind, that the mind kept on holding to the question, because life is all about the you hold. Life is a which you get depending on the questions you hold. So for me, it was a question that, is there more to the reality? Do we have more, something more which we don't know of as of now? Or what labels you have been given, what marks you have got, what people have told you about you, that's your reality, right? So this question was with me for a long time. And when I came to Pune graduation, and I started reading books and suddenly meeting different kind of people, and slowly I was introduced to certain concepts, certain things. And I think in a very in a very swift manner, I think I started uncovering things more about myself. And in the journey, I realized that life is primarily a black, it's an empty canvas, it's a blank canvas, and it's up to
Yeah.
you what story you want to write. And everybody is holding a story, right? Everybody is going through some story. So until we don't realize that we have the ability to write a story and that story becomes our life, we don't do it, right? I think for me, it was that revelation that life is not destined completely. You get to do a lot of things here. And when I realized that, starting working for it and doing things, I think things started changing for me, right? And touch wood, I think I've been fortunate enough to be guided by the universe to come across good people, good books, good areas, which has helped me phenomenally in the.
So any one person, who gave you that particular moment where you suddenly had a bingo moment and you said, yes, this is it? Or was it just over the period of time that you just, flowed into the field of spirituality?
If I look back, two things, I think three major points, three turning point would be there. Number one, I when I look back, I feel very happy that, while being in college, I used to stay alone. I used to stay with my own self. I was not the one who will go with friends and party and this and roaming everywhere. So I got a lot of time in solitude, right? And when I start spending time with myself, so what would you do? You start reading books, you start thinking about things. So I think that gave me a free time to contemplate, to think, and to understand a lot of things about life. So that was one good thing I did for myself. Second was, and today when I realized that top people and they all consciously choose time, the time to be alone with your own self, so the mind becomes still, and a lot of things can be captured. Second moment was when I did my post-graduation in Pune from an institute called as Sadhana Center for Management and Leadership Development. It was instituted by Professor M.S. Pillai, who was earlier the founder of Symbiosis, a CMHRD. And that, for me, was...
One minute. There is some lag in the voice. Some slight this is there.
Okay.
Can you just check it? Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sitting next to the Wi-Fi,
now
so I hope...
No, now it's fine.
Okay, perfect.
It's
perfect.
Good. Yeah.
So, Professor M.S. Pillai, he was the founder of Sadhana SCMLD. And I was in my graduation, I thought which college to join. Because normally after BCom, you go for a master's, no? And I came across this campus, Sadhana Center for Management. And for me, when I got to know about the campus, I said, oh, this is the place for me. Why? The kind of schedule they had, 14 hours per day, right? Morning 6 to evening 9, 7 days a week, for 2 years, no holiday, no break, nothing at all. So
and what is the course that they do?
It's a 2-year program, 2-year MBA leadership program, equivalent to an MBA program.
Oh, so it's like 365 days.
365 days. And our day starts like morning, yoga, meditation, and then breakfast, then lectures, then meditation time, then lunch time. Phenomenal schedule. I said, now this is the place. I think I'll have control around me in the right direction to push me towards, we all have things inside, but we need somebody for some time. So that moment, at 2 years, possibly shifted a lot of things for me. Now, first year was not that great. I was still a backbencher, seeing the activities happening. But second year, something triggered inside. And because I went through a lot of concepts, in second year, I started applying those concepts, about mind programming, about visualizing yourself. And I visualized myself that, convocation award, right? Every year, the best student award somebody gets, and that's 1 lakh rupees cash prize. So I said, I haven't got any awards in my school. Can I take that award, right? And it's an all round. So you have to study, you have to have an extracurricular activity, and then good behavior, all of things. Eventually, I visualized that every day, and lo and behold, came in here after the award, standing on the stage, right? I got 3 to 4 awards, and that shifted a lot of things for me. I completely realized that it's possible for anybody, and today we have science for it, the science of brain plasticity, that you can rewire yourself, your brain, to really make yourself that kind of person which performs to that level. So that was the second point for me. And then third was when in 2012, I came across pranic healing, right? It's an energy-based healing modality, kind of an advanced form of therapy. And when I that course, it's a first level course. It's a 2-day program. It is by Master Chua Soy. He was the founder of Pranic Healing. And it was actually the teachings of Lord Rama in ancient time. And Master Chua was a disciple of Lord Rama who reinvented the teachings. So when I came in across healing, and it's all about energy, your chakras, that gave me the third breakthrough. Like, now I understand how exactly things happen at a core level, like somewhat, not completely, but somewhat. And that helped me to start working in a very different way, to design my programs, my concepts, tools, whatever I did then. And that was the third breakthrough I had in my life.
Wonderful, wonderful. So I can relate to what you said about the child being labeled, because being a vice principal in the school, I used to see many such children, and they had so much of potential. So my attempt also has been to, give them that self-esteem and that value for themselves, to say that studies are not everything. Just recently, I think my last Zindagi ka parcha was one of my ex-student, Javed, and he was a similar kind of child, but now he's an ace choreographer. He has even made Amitabh Bachchan dance. So to that extent he has gone. So I really feel so blessed to be a part of their journey and to see their transformations. So it's indeed great. And when did you start Blue Dot Transformation?
So once I passed out, so what happened, I'll give you a bit of backstory as well. So being in the first year of my MBA, I took a commitment. And second year, I was working in the placement department, corporate relations, the student team. I was heading the student team. And I took a commitment that I will only take placement when my batch is placed. And the batch of the post-graduation, right? So I was leading the placement team, and it was a big commitment I took, but I wanted to create something which I can look back and be proud of, So I did that, and once the batch was placed, it was on the last day of convocation, we had the last guy getting placed. One of the chief guests we invited, Ruya from Kolkata, and the last person was our finance topper. He was still left for placement. And I made him to meet the CEO, and I pitched a bit for him. And eventually he got the job as well. He said, okay, we'll hire. He was CEO directly, right? Then, now, where do I go and join? Which company should I take in right now? I had some offers from companies because I was a very passionate sales guy. And I was thinking about this, where do I join? Then my director, because it was an alumni-driven college. Alumni from have come in, they have started the campus. He said, why don't you stay back in the college for 2-3 years? Work in here, you have a good network, and then you go back to companies to work for. And high confidence then. Suddenly you have got the award, you have I said, okay, I'll work for it. I'll go for it. So I joined. I worked for 3 years, campus, 3.5 years possibly. And my role was to primarily meet top CEOs, HRs, to present the campus. But parallelly, the tools I applied for myself in changing my own wiring, I started applying tools with these students in the batch. And these students were average background, not very intelligent. So next 3-4 years, every batch, the highest placement and the best student from the group I was training. At night, in the hostel, morning 6 o'clock, rewiring the brain. And next 4 years, I was like, oh my God, something is working here. I need the results, and for these kids as well. So then after 3-4 years, I said, now what do I do now? What is the next step? And that's when I thought, do I go back to a job or do I start something on my own, right? And I one day possibly I get an insight, why don't we jump and start something on your own? It doesn't matter if I don't have corporate experience, I get a trade in a company. I can always go to schools and institutions to start. So 2014 is when the idea sprouted in the mind. And I said, let me start. The earlier I start, even if I fail, I have a lot of time to experiment. 2014 I started the venture. And when I started, obviously companies were not keen because they said, oh, who is this young guy coming in? And the people were 30 years, So, and even the college were not keen. They said, look, we only want people to go for jobs, for placement. So, we don't want this to all this training and everything. Then I said, then what do I do? So I said, let me take the path which generally is the hardest part, which is conducting open workshops. So I started doing open sessions, classroom workshops. And touch wood, that for me clicked completely. 2014-15 was kind of almost average, but 16 onwards, it clicked for me. And that workshop, when people start getting results, the word of mouth spread, and I was parallelly doing a lot of things. And that started the journey. 2014 is when I think the idea was in the mind to start something.
I think it was in 2016 that I joined your workshop in Pune along with my husband. And
Yes, yes, I remember.
so
I
there we
remember.
had visualized the world trip, but I went to US and I had that awesome holiday which I want. Only thing, my mom
Wow.
was not with me. I remember I told I want to take my mom along with me, but
Right.
sadly she was not with me. So apart from that, the way I conceived the holiday, I really enjoyed it, and especially in the Bahamas. So
Wow.
it was like,
Amazing.
Sone pe
Amazing.
suhaga at that time.
Yes.
It was amazing,
Beautiful.
amazing.
Beautiful.
So it is said that mindfulness can be described as the practice of paying attention to the present moment and doing intentionally without non-judgment. Now, how do we practice it in our day-to-day life? Even before we look at something, that judgment just pops in. Of course, there are few people, we do try to mend our ways of communication and try to be non-judgmental and very objective. But how do we practice it in a day-to-day life?
Biji, I think before even the practice part comes in, I think people first have to understand why should we practice mindfulness. No, generally I don't
Correct.
agree with the word because the word says mindfulness. In a way, it is not
It's
that
empty,
mind, it's
actually.
mind
It's empty.
emptiness, in fact. No, yeah.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
like what the teacher Eckhart Tolle says. No, it's more of being in the present moment. That's a more apt way of defining it, possibly. So, but why should we practice mindfulness before even we learn the ways to do it? First, people have to understand that everybody, human beings, as when we see a human being, we are not just a mechanical device. We are a very dynamic creature, right? Now, we as a human being, what people generally feel that we are a body, we are a mind. Not to go ahead.
So why
Yeah.
why do we need to practice mindfulness? That is what you were
Yes.
saying.
Yeah, so I said I want to just quickly take a minute's time to understand that what is the importance of mindfulness, why should we do it, and then the application of it part. Now, when we see as a human being, what we have to understand is we're not a mechanical device which is working out, right? A computer. We are a very dynamic creature, and we are a process. We are not a fixed component. We are a process which is dynamically changing every day. Why do I say that? You have a physical, and most people
Yes.
have a physical body, right? But we are not the physical body. The physical body is a vehicle we have. Then people think, okay, we are the mind, but we're not even the mind. Mind is
Yeah.
also a vehicle we have. So if you see now, the ancient teachings were that we are consciousness, we are the soul, or what he says, Atma, right? Even
Hmm.
science comes to a point where science is telling us that we are consciousnness. Where is the consciousness? Nobody knows about it as of now, but we are conscious. No? Now,
Yes.
if somebody can investigate that we are consciousness having this body and having a mind, and we have to use this body and mind in a right manner. If you don't use it in the right manner, like a driver not using the car properly may meet an accident, right? So the driver has to be present and focus on the road and drive properly. Similarly, we consciousness, being the driver, if we are not using the mind and the body properly, we are bound to have difficulties. So becoming aware of your body and mind is what we call as mindfulness. Moment by
Hmm.
moment, can you keep your body and mind in place? So if I say in a different word, your body is in right now. You are right now. Say this time, Biji is here. My physical body is here. So the body is in present moment. But the mind has the ability to travel different dimensions. The mind can go to the past, to the future, and be in the present as well. So if the body is present, the mind goes to the past, there is a friction. Both are not at the same. That friction
Hmm.
is what we call as stress. The mind can go to
So
the past or can go to the future. Now, if mind goes to the past and thinks of a happy moment of life, we feel great. But the same mind, if it goes to the past and recalls a bad moment, a painful moment, that's what we call as depressed. The guy is depressed now because we are fixed with the past. The mind goes to the future and the mind is thinking positive, imaginative positive. We say we are hopeful. But the same mind in the future, it becomes it is thinking of all negative possibilities. That's what we call as anxiety, because being anxious about the future. So if you don't put the mind and the body at one place, at one place in one time, you're bound to have, but you bring the one place, that's what we call as peace. So if we want to live life properly and want to achieve things in life, we have to use this very vehicle we have got, the mind and the body. But if the mind is everywhere, how do you use it? And that's what happens in a lot of people are not, the mind is not in present moment, and the mind is everywhere. Now the issue happens also parallelly is, as the mind goes to the past, as a consciousness, we are not aware that the mind is in. As a consciousness, we also get stuck to the past. It's like the car is not working. As a driver, you say, "Oh, I am not working." No, it's your only working properly, but you are the driver. So your mind is. Are you aware that it's your mind, but not you? And when you become aware through the process of mindfulness, you bring your mind back to the present moment. And when the mind comes to the present moment, the life force which keeps us alive, that the very life force which we have, the prana, that comes in. The life force is not being used in the past or future. It's not being distributed. The life force comes to the present, and that's what promotes health. That's what promotes, gives you energy to create, to manifest, to everything.
So basically, it is focusing the entire energy into the present. The entire energy that you have into the present, so that it gives some fruit on whatever we are working on.
Precisely. No, if you see, some ancient teachers say any disease is a manifestation of less energy in the body. If your body is able to have enough prana, and that's what is happening in the city today. In the cities and urban places, there's hardly any tree left. Sun's rays are not coming in the house, right? So we don't have enough prana to have a healthy, because body survives on prana. But people in villages, you see, these people are very healthy because they are still connected to the natural resources. The water, the earth is clean, the air is clean, the sun rays are coming properly, the trees are good, so the prana is available. But in cities, we don't have it, no? So if your body doesn't have enough energy, your body is bound to get, without life, it's bound to get sick. And there's scientific research being done on this as well. In 1910, I think, 1910, 1915, there was a scientist called as Dr. Schumann, and Earth has a frequency, which is it's vibrating at, the entire Earth has, and that is called a Schumann resonance. And that Schumann resonance is 7.83 hertz of frequency. That is very critical to our well-being. So it is very important that when we keep the energy in present, we are feeling and more alive. Now, as a fact, all of us are born, Master Chua, babies are born yogi. We are born yogi as a child. You see, the child is in present moment. That's why the child is completely joyful, youthful, full of energy, full of happiness. But as the child starts growing in, and then the parenting starts happening, the teaching starts happening, the child starts fast of future. But if you just would say that every child is a born genius until he starts school.
Yes, very true.
Because suddenly the school changes everything. Yeah, completely. Yeah.
So, see, keeping the child alive within us, having prana, like how do we, remove the blockages that we have in our body? Now, with this prana, it is possible to remove the blockages from the body, the emotional blocks.
You see, so first let's understand what is the emotional block, right? What is exactly emotional block? Now, for example, somebody in class, I'm just giving a random example. Somebody in class goes through maybe a bully in the school. Somebody bullies a student, right? Correct. And the student, because the mind is not that developed, the student thinks, I'm not enough, I'm not good, maybe color, maybe complexion, maybe background, maybe ability to speak not properly. So the child thinks, I'm not enough, and they have bullied because I'm lacking something. And the child
True.
creates an emotion of shame, of guilt, of being very negative to oneself. I'm not
Hmm.
enough, I'm complete. Now, that emotion when the child experiences, the emotion is created, but there's no resolve of the emotion, right? The body released the chemical, the emotion was released, and the emotion is in the body. Now, the child, closure, that thing stayed in the mind of the child. The child
Hmm.
from class 10 go to class 11, class 12, graduation first, second, third year, and the child kept on holding that perception. I'm not enough,
True.
I'm not enough. And because that even happened for me. Now, fast forward 10 years down the line. For 10 years, the child in conscious is holding that memory, and with that memory, the emotion is still being triggered in the subconscious level in the body. No closure yet. The emotion is not expressed completely. It is being
True.
felt inside at the subconscious level. But that emotion, wherever in the body the emotion is spread, that chemical has gone, the emotion finds a particular place in the body where it gets stored. Now, if you
Okay.
refer to the ancient system of chakras, we have different
Hmm.
chakras. Every chakra has a role to play. So generally, chakra which is around our below our chest, no, above our stomach, there's a chakra we have what we call as Manipura chakra or the solar plexus. That's where the
Yeah.
negative emotions are generally stored. No, so the child when he felt or she felt the emotion got stuck somewhere, especially at that chakra place, right? Now that emotion is also an energy. Energy, what is emotion? Energy is motion, right?
Energy motion. Yes.
That emotion got stuck at the stomach level. And 5 years down the line, 7 years down the line, that emotion, that negative energy field is now affecting that part of your body. So
Hmm.
you today find people are having diabetes or people having arthritis or people having some issues of skin. All these are generally uh, psychosomatic in reason, right? And this emotion which is stuck in the place is causing these systems because the body is in the fight flight response. Now, when you become mindful, when 10 years down, then I say, oh my God, I was bullied in class 10 and I'm still holding that memory, my subconscious. Now the reality is over. But in my mind, I am holding a perception of reality, not the reality itself, but a perception of it. But the body, mind, hold this to be true. For the body, the
Correct.
experience is very real, right? Now, when I become aware of it, I say, oh my, I'm still holding that memory and that emotion. The moment I start becoming aware of it and I allow that memory to come up, that emotion I started acknowledging, suddenly with being mindful, I give that part of me a window, a place, an opportunity to express itself. And when I start acknowledging my past through maybe talking to somebody, writing a journal, or through crying, some therapeutic measures, or like taking a pranic healing Reiki session, that energy starts getting expressed. That's what mindfulness does. Are you aware what in your past you are still holding inside your body? You're not holding it, but there's something you're holding inside the body, right? From class 1, class 2, class 5. What are those? Generally, those are our limitations, right? And when you become mindful of your own compartment of mind, that what my past, I'm still keeping it alive, right? You start getting to the process of freedom. That's where the freedom comes in. So, mind.
So awesome. So what do we do to allow that energy to go away from there? Suppose we've had a closure. Like I have a client who wanted to share it with me, but they said it's very painful for me, so I don't want to go to that state. So half the time they came with me, and when I was about to release that, that person just said that no, it is too painful. I don't even want to think about it. So it's again closed back, right? So how do we actually remove it?
Yeah.
Is there, like in pranic healing also, distance healing is there? Is it possible
Yes.
for us to heal from here?
Yes. You see, there's a beautiful no quote I read somewhere. I don't exactly know who was the person who said that, but they say before you start healing the person, right? Ask them, are they willing to release the cause which is making them sick.
True.
If they are not willing, you can't do anything. If the person says, no, I don't want the past, okay, but the past is inside your body. The
Yeah,
past, that fire, that energy, that emotional fire is going to burn your body inside out. And most people,
definitely.
they wait for a crisis to come, a major
Exactly.
issue, a cancer, a trauma, something goes completely havoc, and then they realize it. Unfortunately, right? But
Unfortunate.
but when somebody becomes aware of it, there are many ways to release this. And every culture, every religion, they have devised different methods to work on this part. Pranic healing, yes, is a very fast method, very safe, uh, very fast, works amazingly well. It can
Mm-hmm.
work person to person, it can work distance as well. And today you can learn yourself. Like in 2 days, you
True.
get to learn your own self. Other ways are even writing a journal. When you start
Yeah.
writing whatever you are holding inside, when you're writing it out completely, writing is a mechanism through which energy gets expressed on the piece of paper. So as you start
Mm.
writing, you give the space of that energy which is trying to come out, a space to flow out. So when you're writing, you'll cry, tears will come out. By the way, even when tears comes out, there is a research which says when they when they analyze the happy and that tear and the sad and that tear, both tears had different chemical composition. So when you're sad and crying, what your body is releasing are chemicals of stress, cortisol, which chemicals which makes you sick, possible, right? So even crying is very therapeutic. But unfortunately, in our culture, we don't give too much. It's like a tab. Don't cry. Be strong. No, no.
Yeah,
Let them
yeah.
cry. Their freedom isn't fine. No. So if you cry, if people who cry quickly, they cry well. They are always in a very light. Person who
Yeah.
has not cried, right? He is or she is a dangerous person because he or she allowing the volcano to be inside, and that person end up disrupting or if you notice today a lot of if you refer to these psychiatrists who work with criminals and know people who have done heinous crime, if you go
Mm.
back, you'll see in their past they have gone through a lot of trauma, and
Yeah.
because it's not resolved, that trauma ends up making them do that behavior. You see, nobody is born.
Mm-hmm.
We all have possibly been through experiences which we don't know how to resolve in a way. So writing is an amazing process. Then in Sufism, you have that meditation process when you dance, when you flow.
Swirling.
Again, those are methods to release. Some people use dancing or singing as
Yes.
a method to release that pain. No, so
Yes.
there are many ways
Yes.
of it. But the question is, moment you ask yourself that am I willing to release? If yes, the universe opens the door for you. You'll find some way, some methods to heal that part. But if you're not willing, it means that you still not has come to a space of understanding that no, the time has come. You can't do anything about
Yeah.
it. You have to give them space then.
Sadly, like, many of them, they know what the problem is, but they do not want to solve it. And then we say, yes, only if it is destined can we heal somebody. Otherwise, we just cannot. Maybe it is not in our karma. So we have to just let them go. So initially, it was a very sad feeling for me because I know ye ho sakta hai, but then you're not allowing me the opportunity to do it. But now I have just let it go as part of my karma as well.
And even I was no. What happens is when you are a very sensitive person, and you are in this
Yeah,
path of healing people. What happens is when you see somebody in pain, you really want to go and help. Like I have
correct.
been, like I really want to. I can't see people in pain. I want to go and do something to make them come out of it. But I
Yes,
realize
yes.
sometimes, if they are not, if like you can only serve them food, but if they are not willing to eat, you can't do much about it.
You
So I
can't do
realized,
right.
okay, allowing people that time to learn, to understand, to grow. And that's what the teacher Eckhart Tolle says, that suffering is a great teacher. Suffering is
Yes,
a great teacher until you realize it's not required to suffer.
exactly.
So,
Yesterday,
yeah,
my son was asking this question. He was asking me, Mama, I realized one thing that, do we have to always do hard work to reach that level of success? I said, no, it is just a belief that is put into your head.
because he was seeing me like, every session that I do, I put the whole of me into it, and I do extra in this. I said, see, I do it because I have a obsession for perfection, which I should be leaving. I know that. But that is the reason why I'm doing. So I enjoy it as well. So it's not so much of an effort, but I am putting a lot of effort into it. So it need not be there. There is a way of effortless manifestation. You can definitely do it. And, I really felt nice that he started connecting to me on that level. So today, the generation, they have a lot of things to share with you. And
True.
it's amazing. It's really amazing.
Thanks for viewing, and I'm sure you've had a good time. Like, comment, subscribe, and share as much as possible so that others too can be enlightened. We'll be happy to bring you more and more videos, and if you have any queries with regards to personal development and personal growth, do write to us at seminarbiji@gmail.com or message us on 8355 824 990. I win when you win. God bless.